Hello everyone, how are you doing tonight? I come to you tonight to just show you a little trick about using the negative rubber piece out of your Stampin' Up! Stamps when you mount them to make a die cut out of them. So let me just tell you, I'm Rita Holmes. I'm an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up! And I have a website for my Stampin' Up! Business, ritaholmes.stampinup.net. I have a YouTube channel, Stamp Crazy by Rita Holmes. It'd be very nice if I could get you guys to subscribe to that and share. And my Facebook group is Stamp Crazy VIP, where I do techniques every Tuesday. And I also put a PDF of the technique that I did on how to do it and the card that I make doing it. I give all the directions and dimensions for that, and that's on my Facebook page, Stamp Crazy VIP. I also have my May host code up for Stamping Up orders. If you don't have a demonstrator, I'd love to be that for you. You can always contact me and go through my website and contact me to send you a catalog if you don't have one and are interested in buying from Stampin' Up. If you have a demonstrator already, that's a great thing. Just keep ordering from them, and I'm just glad that you come and visit me. So I'm going to get started with my card tonight, and this is the card we're going to make. I'm using the Ornate Garden Suite dies and embossing folder and stamp for that. The stamp comes out of Ornate Style. The embossing folder comes out of the Ornate Layers dies, and the embossing folder is the Flowers embossing folder. And that's the three things that I've used. Plus, I used the out of Good Morning Magnolia. I'm going to be using Thinking of You. My card says thank you, but I'm going to make a Thinking of You card tonight since I've been using so many of those. I thought I'd just replenish my stock while showing this technique to you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. And the first thing I'm going to do is I already did my die cuts just to save us a little bit of time. So I'm going to stamp my image, and I've got just a piece of printer paper so that I don't go over these dots while I'm stamping. So I'm going to use my Memento Tuxedo Black ink because I will be coloring with the Stampin' Blends. So I'm going to use this, stamp my flower, and then I'm going to stamp another one. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a scrap piece of paper, as soon as I can get a hold of it with my mess over here, and I'm going to go ahead and stamp a flower. I'm actually going to stamp two because I'm going to be making two of these cards later, and that'll just save me a little bit of time. Okay, so let me cover my stamp pad up. Lay my stamp over here. So I have my three daisies, which is the 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to color them just very quickly. I do use my Stampin' Blends. If you've never used these, you should try. They are great markers to use. I'm going to take my dark one, and I'm just going to follow these lines, these little dark lines that's in here on my flower. And then just maybe go around that little circle. I'm going to do that on all three of my daisies so that you can see them done. I had to turn my iPad on so I could make sure I'm staying in the camera. I'm very new to doing these videos, so you just kind of have to bear with me. I don't have all the equipment to make great videos, but I'm giving it a try right now, doing a trial run to see how I like it. So I hope you guys enjoy this. I like to show techniques and tips and that with doing card making. Anything to help someone else out and ideas and stuff like that. I really enjoy doing it. I just enjoy teaching so much. Kind of miss it with the quarantine going on. Okay, now I'm going to take the light one and I'm just going to swirl over everything I just did. I always use the broader tip and I always go in a swirling motion, and that is just a way that I colored, you know, when I use any kind of coloring, whether it's markers or pencils, because it just helps not make lines in there. I'm going to go ahead and color all three of them real quick, since we're going to need all three of them to make our card. So I hope all you guys like to color. Just kind of brings back childhood memories. I used to love to color. I've colored with all of my grandkids. They all love coloring too. I kept them when they were young, and we colored a lot. So, if you've never used the stamping blends, you really would fall in love with them. They come in, well, actually our new catalog will be out June 3rd, and they're going to be sold in combo packs where you would get like the light and dark in a combo pack of each color. So you've got your shading, your light, and your dark. So there's no guessing about that. I'm just going to take this and just kind of add some dark in there back in to make it a little bit darker. And as you can see, I don't go with any rhyme or reason. They're flowers. They're not supposed to look just alike. And I'm a firm believer of that. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to use my dark marker in here. I'm not going to use another color of my yellow. I'm going to put a yellow center in. And then for my leaves, I've got the light and dark Granny Apple Green. And I'm going to just do put some dark up these veins a little bit. As you can see, I'm not really trying to stay in the lines. Then I'm going to do the stem and then color my leaves. I'm anxious about our new catalog coming out. I'm always anxious to get new stamps and ideas. And I love Stampin' Up! Products. I love the way they coordinate with each other. Takes all the guessing game out of me to coordinate papers and ink pads and all that stuff. Okay, I've got them colored. Now I'm going to do my die cut. And what I'm going to do then is you take your negative piece of rubber that you got, and if you save that, what you're going to do is you're going to take this extra daisy and you're just going to put it back in place where it would be for you to put the stamp in there. Hold that down. Make sure you get it all kind of even, or as even as you can. And you're just going to take a pencil and you're going to draw a line around there. I got more on one side than the other, but that's okay. And then what you're going to do is you're going to just take your scissors and cut that out. And these are the sharpest little scissors, so I prefer them. And I cut on the inside of that line so that it's not in my way. And I don't know if you know, but when you're cutting with these type of scissors, don't try to just turn your scissors, turn your paper, and you don't get all that rough edge. That little choppy pieces. And if you can see, I'm just turning my paper and keeping my scissors right where they're at. So we're getting this last little curve. There we go. There's my little die cut. So it kind of resembles a die cut if you were using a metal framelit, thinlet, whatever type of die cut. And so I think one thing that I might have forgotten, and I'm just going to pick up just real quick, guys, is a dimensional. I tried to make sure I had everything laying here and thought I did, and wouldn't you know it, no dimensional. So I'm just going to put a couple dimensionals on here. Pull up the paper, and I'm going to add them my flower with these flowers. And I'm going to take my saying, which I'm going to do thinking of you, and I'm just going to add my thinking of you right here. Ink it up, just hold it on there a minute, let it soak into the paper, and voila. So now all we have to do is put this little card together. So I have my piece of Whisper White cardstock, 5.5 by 8.5, folded in half. If you haven't watched my videos, I use a Pampered Chef pot scrubber for my bone folder just because I like it so much. And then we're going to take, here's our embossing folder. It's so pretty. I hope you can see all the little flowers in it. I'm going to take that and I'm going to glue that on with my Tombow glue. I like to use this especially on embossing folders because they have all the indentations, and this just helps hold it down a little bit more. So I'm kind of generous when it comes to that. So I'm going to put this on the front of my card. There we go. And then I'm also going to take pop dots, put that onto the back of my framelit die. And I usually use 6 when I'm doing something like this. I'll put 1 in each corner. On this size I use 6. If it's bigger, like the mat here, I use 5. I use 6 on that. I put 2 here usually. 5's enough for this. You don't have to be, you just want to hold up your sides and your middle a little bit. So we're going to take that, bring our card back in here to the front. We're going to lay this down. And there we have a card. And I made my own little die cut with my flower. And I think what we're going to do, and I didn't bring my putty, my Picket tool. So I'm going to use my scissors. And I'm just going to add a couple rhinestones. Just because I think that would look really, really pretty on here. I think it's always nice when you get just a little bit of bling. Well, that's upside down. Wouldn't you know it? That's why I use my pick-me-up tool all the time, but I'm not going to run and get it. There we go. So that is our finished card, ladies, and I hope you enjoyed it. I do have other videos with some techniques already on YouTube that you're more than welcome to go watch. And if you want the PDFs on how to do it, you can just go to my Stamp Crazy VIP, join it, and all of the PDFs are in the files there. Just remember, from here on out, if you don't get dies with your stamps, maybe to keep your rubber piece if you do not keep the negative, which I never have. But I'm going to start if it doesn't have a die cut. And I just take and I just store it in here with my stamps, like so. So that's it for tonight, ladies. I hope you enjoyed it. And I hope to see you again soon. Tuesday at 10 o'clock, I will be on my Stamp Crazy VIP doing another technique. If you would like to join me there, that would be great. See you all later, ladies, and you have a great night.